inspiring, yet easy to understand and appreciate. Let us all listen to the Word of God here on The Word Exposed on Air, only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle ng Manila, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Khalil Yamado ng Manila Cathedral, at Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Kapit Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawan ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugo. Todo sa kayot, tulong at tulong.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. It's your local Gulay Girly from 1AB Communication. It's your girl, Celery, without the C. And welcome to the season finale of Kwentuhang MVP. It's crazy, we can't believe that this school year and this season are actually coming to an end. Whoa. But rest assured, guys, we'll be back stronger and better than ever next year. And as usual, we are coming to you loud and live from our homes via the Facebook pages of the Ateneo de Manila University's radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. And of course, the Council of Organizations of the Ateneo Manila. And also, you can stream to us via Radyo Katipunan's YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Secondly, we're coming in via the audio streams at any Shoutcast online radio station around the world. So just search for Radyo Katipunan. We're also transmitting via the 87.9 FM frequency. So tune in if you are within the 2-kilometer radius of the Ateneo de Manila campus. All right. Now, last week, we were welcomed by the incoming Central Board members for COA-M school year 2021 to 2022. And we talked about their expectations for their term and, their journey as org members. Now, as we close out the school year and this season, today's guests will help us recap how the year in COA went and reminisce on, also, their expectations, experiences, and the highs and the lows of our first fully online year. Wow, it's been a year already. That is insane. So without further ado, please welcome the graduating seniors of COA-M. So hello. Hi, guys. Okay. All right. So we have here with us Miss Patricia, Sid, and Christine. Hey, guys. So, you know what? Hi. So why don't you guys give your introductions? I'm pretty sure everybody here knows you already. Pretty sure the whole Ateneo knows you. You guys given the Ateneo de Manila University so much in your 4-year stay or 5-year stay with us. So please do introduce yourselves and your position to everybody watching or listening right now.
Maybe I can go first. So, hi everyone and everyone watching. I'm Aki and I'm the president of the Council of Organizations of the Ateneo Manila.
Hi everyone. So I'm Christine and I'm the SecGen of COA-M. Nice to meet you all.
Hi guys, I'm Sid and I'm the Formation and Development Officer of the sector-based cluster under COA-M.
All right. Now, actually, guys, I just want to check up on you naman. Syempre, 4 or 5 years in college. Are you guys still alive? How are you guys naman today?
Ayan, for me, buhay na buhay pa naman. I'm really happy to have finished, I guess, the past 4 years na. Honestly, it doesn't seem real. Kasi parang kahapon lang ako nag-ORSEM. But yeah, doing and looking forward to the next steps.
That's great to hear. How about you, Christine?
Same as Aki. I just feel like the past 4 years has gone by super fast. But I'm a bit grateful na right for the past week I've been able to have a break from ACAD since finals week ended for me last week. So it's been really nice. For the first time in 4 years, I can take a quick break.
Thank you for the quick break. Thank you, Jesus. How about you, Sid? Are you alive? Are you okay?
Well, I resonate with what Christine and Aki said. I'm happy that I get to take a break, especially since after 5 years in Ateneo, I'm finally here with a vacation. But still, at the same time, it's a bit sentimental as well because, of course, after 5 years, it's time to, let go and let the younger people take over.
Younger people. Wow. For context, it's, every time I meet seniors talaga, as a freshman myself, it's always like, so ano po feeling na naglakad kayo sa Ateneo campus? Can't relate. But with that, how do you guys feel naman about, finally closing after 4 or 5 years, this chapter of your life, and, the new beginnings you're about to embark on? How does it feel? Miss Aki, you wanna share with us how you feel?
Ayan, very exciting naman. Parang graduation and finishing college, it's something you think about, I think, from fresh year. Na parang we're all like, sana matapos na ako. But, it's still quite unreal. But at the same time, I'm just really excited and I guess really happy about all the years that have passed. Parang sulit naman yung experience.
Can go next.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Well, for me, I think it's a bit scary because it's similar to the time when, you're graduating from high school and you're looking at college and it seems so scary because it's so different from high school. And medyo same situation right now na you're looking at the adult world and it's so different from, the college that you grew up in and the comfort that you found. It's a bit scary, but at the same time, being scared at things makes things more exciting in a way as well.
It's great to hear. How about you, Miss Christine?
For me naman, I'm actually really sad na college is about to end. I had a really fun experience. I made so many friends. I really loved all the orgs I joined. So I think I'll miss orgs a lot after college. But at the same time, I'm really excited to explore new things. So.
Okay, great. Kanina, Miss Aki, she mentioned something about fresh year, as a freshman myself. I always ask this to my seniors and to my upperclassmen, but speaking of fresh year, what would you tell your fresh year? Your freshie self, if you had the chance, like right now, what would you tell your freshie self?
I guess for me, ano ba sasabihin ko? Everything will fall into place. Wow! Parang ang deep naman. No, but really, I think when I was a freshie, I think as with most freshies, you go into college feeling very scared. So parang the next 3 to 4 years seem so uncertain. But yun, I'd like to reassure my freshie self na things will work out naman.
Sana all nag-work out. Figuratively and literally, I have let myself go this pandemic. And with that said, what would you tell your freshie self?
Well, I guess one is that don't be shy in attending, org events or joining org projects. Because back then, I think I was still a bit apprehensive in joining some events. And, when I reached second year and third year, I realized, oh my God, those are missed opportunities. I could have joined them back then and I could have met a lot of the people who graduated after my first year. So there was that bit of sadness and regret on my end. So, and at the same time, I also want to tell my freshie self to not stress too much on, academics, but also learn to just enjoy the org life in Ateneo because once you graduate, it's gonna be over. So, make the most out of it talaga.
All right, folks, you heard it loud and clear from Sid Gonzales himself. Please do enjoy your freshie year and the succeeding years to come. And finally, last but definitely not the least, Miss Christine, what would you tell your freshie self?
Well, when I was a freshie, I remember it was really an adjustment period for me, coming from high school and then college academics really scary. So I was a bit hesitant to join orgs, but I would tell my freshie self, join COA earlier. Don't be shy because, it's all going to work out. And, to take time, take things one step at a time, I guess. It'll all fall into place.
We are so sentimental. It takes things one step at a time. Things will work out eventually, and so on and so forth. And my favorite, like one of the things you mentioned that really spoke to me was about orgs and how you shouldn't be pressured. I love that because I feel like ako as a freshie, coming into Ateneo, I was like, oh, will I still enjoy the experience? Like it's online. How will I enjoy the orgs, right? But still, I'm here naman. Kita niyo naman buhay pa naman ako. I'm still enjoying the org life. And speaking of orgs, COA-M really took a really great deal out of your life here in Ateneo. And with that, can you share with us? Para lang ma-inspire iba nating listeners or watchers right now to invest in COA-M also. How did your COA-M story start? Like, what drew you into the org?
For me, so actually yung start ko wasn't very inspiring. I actually joined COA initially kasi yung sister ko was actually EB nung freshie ako. The reason why I stayed for that time was because I really like the COA room. I really like sleeping on the couch. And that's mostly like why I stayed at first. Sabi ko, ang ganda naman ang room nila. I'll stay here for the rest of the year. But then, as I continued to learn more about what COA does, parang doon ako na-invest na it just kind of sparked that passion for service for me. And ayun, that just grew throughout the years, and then binigyan din ako ng mga opportunities from my upperclassmen at the time to keep, serving, and I really have them to thank talaga for fostering my journey. So, ayun, diba, from sleeping on the couch to running for actual position. So, yun talaga yung naging start ng COA-M journey ko.
Wow. But can I just say though, I feel like for everybody naman, we go into orgs for something very individualistic, but we stay for the people, we stay for, realizing that, oh, I'm starting to love what I'm doing. So that's great. That's great. I wish everybody could have that beautiful experience as with you, Miss Aki. And with that said, how about you?
Well, for me, compared to Chrissy and Aki, I think I started in COA much later. I think my first COA story started, well, aside from Rec Week, like Freshie Rec Week, third year, I joke lang, incoming senior ako nun in my fourth year, incoming senior, and I actually applied to be that year's Rec Week creatives. So yeah, it's actually a bit different from what I do now in COA. But yeah, that was one of my first stories with COA, and it was really a good experience because I got to meet Aki back then in the MVP room, kahit super short lang in a Rec Week meeting, and she was just there, just supporting everyone in the core team. And una ko naisip na, ay, ang bait nito, gano'n.
Wow, it's lovely. See that, guys? Origin talaga, they really form bonds. They allow you to form better friendships talaga. Imagine mo, nakita lang kayo sa org room. Who knew, a year after, we'd all be in this pandemic. And you guys would be live with me right now. Amazing talaga. The little coincidences in life. And with that, Miss Chris, last but definitely not the least.
Well, I actually started as an ex-team in my second year. So I actually joined because a lot of my friends were already in COA, like Miss Aki and friends. So they were the people that I already had experience working on in other projects. And I really enjoyed working with them, and I wanted more opportunities to work with them. And that's how I ended up in COA. And I think what really drew me into it, though, and let me stay, was that our advocacy was really for the org. And it was really nice to be part of something bigger than myself and to serve the org community.
Something bigger than ourselves. And of course, service. Wow, that exudes servant leadership to its core. Thank you. Thank you so much for spending so many years with us, serving with us. Thank you. In behalf of the Freshie community. I feel so young. But with that, here's a follow-up question, considering that you've recalled your starting journey. I mean, I think I always ask this also whenever I would meet my seniors or I would like have a chat with them online. But when did you know you wanted to like dedicate, let's say, a part of yourself, your college life, your expertise to COA? Because like, it doesn't really happen in a snap, like what Miss Aki said.
Yeah, I guess to pick up from what I said, actually I think the project that really convinced me na COA was gonna be my org for life was Rec Week. I think it was the same Rec Week when Sid came in, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know, iba kasi yung feeling when you're actually part of the team, and then you see, well, it was roof deck at the time, and parang you see the venue and it's full of orgs and everyone's so excited and everyone's talking about their advocacies, their passions. Wala lang, I guess something just sparked in me na sabi ko, I want to be part of the team or part of the org that helps foster those and keep people excited and, continue that excitement, that passion. So ayan, I think that's really what got me inspired, kumbaga, to keep leading and go.
Passion really does wonders talaga. When you're really passionate about something talaga, hindi mo kahit anong talaga mangyari, like kahit anong hardship, you stick by it. Respect, Miss Aki. And with that said, how about you? Like, when did you know, or how did you know you wanted to dedicate your college life to COA?
Oh, well, okay, so I'm gonna talk about my SBC term na instead of the Rec Week since it was more short term. So for the SBC position, well, to be honest, I think Aki and Chrissy know, but I never really planned initially to, apply for or run for SBC FDO. But I considered it eventually because for context, before I joined COA, like this year, I came from an SBC org, and after my fourth year, since I had one remaining school year left, I was supposed to just take a break for my fifth year, because that's what a lot of super seniors do actually, like they retire from their orgs, ganon. But then I was supposed to do that since it was really tempting, but I was reflecting and I realized that even if it's more challenging to serve this school year, I think the fact that it's more challenging makes it means that we're needed more, or like we're called to give a bit more impact to our sectors. And connecting this to my role in COA, I guess I realized that I wanted to continue serving on a bigger scale, not just on my respective SBC org but also to other SBC orgs. I'm very fond of the work that they do, and especially their advocacies, and I wanted to maximize my remaining school year to help those advocacies and to help create a bigger impact through what I can do in COA.
Lovely. I love that. It really starts unexpected, no? Like, I'm honestly just amazed at how you started in COA late in comparison to other members and to other leaders in COA. And then look, you're really here. Like, if it's really meant to happen talaga, it will. Like, if you really work for it. And that just goes to show for everybody. Like, actually na-inspire ako kasi like plan ko rin kasi talaga is if ever I am to take up a fifth year, like I'm gonna rest na, break from org works. But like na-realize ko na, why take a break when you can like enjoy and indulge in the college moment, diba? So thank you for that. And Miss Chris?
For me naman, I think it started when I was in X-Team. So I'm from the OSG X-Team kasi, so we take minutes sometimes. So one time, inutusan ako mag-minutes for a finance subsidy hearing. And I think that was kind of like the turning point for me na I realized na, COA does like these things pala for the org. And I wanted to see parang what else COA could do. And I just wanted to be able to have more opportunities to really serve the org. So that was really inspiring for me na students can help other students too. So that's why I decided to dedicate my life to COA.
Thank you. Honestly, I think you've said it so many times. Like, if we had like a chart that would count every time I'd say thank you for your service. Like, super punong-puno na siya siguro. But, considering that you're here serving us, not only the student community, but also the org community in itself, like, we are honestly very grateful. And with that, why don't we, take a step back? Once again, thank you so much, guys, for sharing this with us. We love our seniors. But, let's have a short looking back space. So just, we can reminisce on how far you've all gone and all the different things and journeys you've undertaken for the past years. And, we're sure that upon applying for your positions, you had some expectations, which are completely normal, about what the work entailed. So how could you serve the community and what you could learn from it? Like, can you tell us about that? Like, what were your expectations? Like, were your expectations met, or was it a completely different experience from the job description?
Okay, so for me, I remember I was already decided on running, I think, second semester pa lang, so like January of 2020. But I didn't really plan yet on what I wanted to do. Kasi sabi ko, sige, I'll wait for elections. And then March rolled around. So elections didn't happen yet in March. And parang ako, along with other would-be candidates at the time, parang we were just in our limbo. We were just waiting for elections. So while we were waiting for elections, I was still in my position as chief of staff from the year before. So of course, I would onboard the incoming presidents because that was part of my job at the time. And just hearing from them, a lot of them kasi were elected before the pandemic happened or even like in March. So a lot of them still had expectations na, maybe we'll be back on campus by second sem, or maybe we'll wrap this up, the pandemic will be over soon. We know that's not true. Ayun, andito pa rin tayo. So, I guess it really helped me in setting my own expectations because when we had our elections in May, I was kind of convinced na maybe we'll spend the entire year online. I didn't want to get my hopes up anymore, sadly. But ayun, and even as president, kasi I'm supposed to have eyes on everything. And admittedly, it's also hard to have that kind of foresight so early in the year. I think that's true naman for any president, whether on-site or online man yung year mo. So were my expectations met? I'd say that with all the efforts of the CB and all the efforts of the orgs, definitely yung mga efforts namin this year went above and beyond my expectations. I wasn't necessarily like pessimistic about the year, but it's still really nice to look back and say na everyone's worked so hard given the limited resources that we have, the limited time that we have. So yeah, definitely everyone went beyond my expectations, and I'm really happy to have served such a historic year.
Oh, that's really wonderful to hear. But honestly, for me, Ren, going into this year and realizing, it's been a year, I feel like we really showed the world how resilient we are. Although resiliency isn't always like a good thing, but we really did show how capable and adaptable the org community in Ateneo is. You can see it from all of our events. We had such an influx of events, even despite the pandemic. It's amazing. You guys are amazing. We're all amazing. So congratulate yourselves, guys. You've made it through a year and you flourished. Or if you didn't, that's okay. We're in a pandemic, for crying out loud. And with that, how about you, Sid?
I actually resonated with what Aki said na back then when I just got recently elected last year. I was actually expecting that the second sem of this school year would be on-site already, but I'm grateful that when I was planning with my partner, Justin, we were when we were planning the initiatives and how we were going to set them up in our services, we planned it both ways. If like the second sem would be on-site or if the second sem would still be online. And I'm glad we got to do it because it helped manage our expectations well. That we were ready whatever scenario could happen in the second sem. And I think that really helped in how we were able to, meet those expectations in the end. And looking back now, I think all of my expectations were met naman because coming into COA, since recently joined COA lang this school year, I didn't really have much expectations because I didn't really know what to specifically look for from the environment that I was going to work with. And it was actually a good thing that I didn't, because I got surprised a lot in a good way, and I met a lot of new people in my life that I was happy that I got to meet in my last school year before I left Ateneo. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Honestly, it's crazy to think, no, na parang we're all leaving, or you guys, you'll be leaving in an online setting. But I hope naman this doesn't discourage you, and I can see naman it didn't. You guys are still fired up and passionate as ever. And with that, Miss Chris.
For me, same as Sid, I really thought by second sem would be on-site na. So if you look at my platform and I ran an election, there was one part where like, in second sem, when we're back on-site, we will do this and that. Sadly, we're not on-site yet, but I think that just called for a lot of adjustments, on everyone's part. And it's really nice to see everyone make an effort to make initiatives translate online, or even to make new initiatives that fit the online setting. For me naman, I think my expectations were definitely met in terms of the people that I'd be working with, the environment. I really expected a nice environment. But in terms of my role, I think it really changed my expectations about the role, because everything's online. The needs have changed, so I have to change with it. And I think it's shown how creative we second-gen people must be in these times.
Yes, well, I like what I said kanina talaga. Super hirap talaga mag-adjust sa pandemic na to. And honestly, building on to what Miss Aki said, I feel like we all went to do this year not knowing what's gonna happen next. So like we really set the standards or like the expectations low. But the mere fact that we survived this year, the mere fact that the org community managed to flourish despite the budget cutbacks, despite the hindrances, despite problems with attendees, we all made it. So it really goes to show how resilient and adaptable we all are. And with that, for the next question, it's more of like a personal question in relation to your work. But did you set goals for yourself, or like what you wanted the org to accomplish at the beginning of your term, and how did you go about meeting them? So why don't we switch it up? Why don't we first hear from Sid?
Well, when it comes to the goals that I set, I guess how did I, allowed myself or help myself to meet them across the school year was that what I really did was to consult with everybody that I could. So specifically my partner, my ex-teams, and at the same time, the org presidents as well, and even the EB members of the SBC orgs. So I'm just going to, interswitch goals and projects or platforms. But I think I was able to meet them primarily because I was able to, take into consideration the inputs of other people. And I think that's something important when you're, holding a position, or when you're planning projects for whether for an org or for just a particular term. It's important to take into consideration the inputs of other people, because you don't want to be stuck in your own bubble, and you also want to see some points or some parts you may have missed, and it really helps you reach those goals more efficiently. And generally it was all about consultations and a lot of meetings to really flesh out whatever people wanted to suggest, or what stakeholders wanted to say about those goals. And eventually, it didn't just became my own goals, but it eventually became the cluster's goals. And I'm really happy that it became a cluster effort along the way.
Okay, teamwork makes the dream work. Period. So, Miss Chris, how about you?
For me naman, my main goal is really to be helpful to the other CB members. Kasi as a tech gen, you're supposed to provide great support to them. So my goal was really to set up more processes and systems that would make CB work more efficient. And hopefully, nagawa naman. So far, the feedback has been good naman with our reservation things, like the Zoom. So everyone's been using it naman. And my second goal was to grow my ex teams, to build the department and empower them and give them more opportunities to serve. And I feel like that has really helped me in terms of helping the CB and helping the core, because I have more hands on deck and more people involved to provide better service. So in terms of meeting them, I agree with Sid. It's really about consulting with your constituents, keeping open lines of communication with everyone, and just ensuring that you get feedback every time and you adapt and grow every step of the way.
Okay. Lovely. Also, that's very interesting, the systems and the processes thing. I hope it worked out with the online setting. Did it work out naman? Or was it specifically made for the online setting?
Well, to be honest, it was specifically made for the online setting, such as, the Zoom room reservation system. So because org accounts only have one Zoom room, for example, in the CB, we had to share it. So we had to take turns, and I think it worked out naman. Everyone was able to maximize the use of it.
Okay, she really said resiliency like that. Okay, and last, definitely not the least, Miss Aki.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, the role of the president kind of entails that I have to have eyes on everything. So of course, I had to align both the org and I guess myself with, I guess, the goals that I had. For the org, at least, or for COA, I really just had two major goals in mind. First was to make sure na we were tight-knit as a CB. Because we're actually a very huge CB. If makompleto kami, we should be around 25. we're a huge CB, and that doesn't even include AVPs or OICs yet. So I really wanted to make sure na kahit sa online setting, we were all still working properly. And I guess in terms of our services as COA, considering now we were all just entering the pandemic at the time as org officers, I wanted to make sure na COA, I guess, provided a sense of order in a time na parang ang gulo ng lahat in the org world. So ayun, that's what I had planned essentially for my goals and my platform. But I guess as for myself, my personal goals, since I was already able to go through chief of staff and all my other roles before, it already just culminated into this role. Parang parang ito yung final round, boss level, kumbaga, of all of my work in COA so far. And my personal goal naman talaga was just to make sure that I was on top of everything, but at the same time just taking care of myself. And looking out for people. So whether that was like my ex teams or yung CB ko, ayan, I am a self-proclaimed stage mom. So I really wanted to make sure na even if I don't get to see people in person, especially for my ex teams na freshies, I wanted to make sure na feel nila yung care of COA for them.
Oh, we love that. But ma'am, can I ask, like, in overseeing everybody this online setting, do you think that online setting made it easier, or was it harder in comparison to real life?
Well, definitely there have been pros and cons. I honestly have yet to really process the impacts of the online setting, but I think it was mentioned earlier, the online setting really made it easier to talk to people, contact people. People are a message away. But I guess that also comes with the con na, this is also a learning process for us to remember that people have their personal times. Parang we can't always reach out to people. The online learning has also been hard for people as well. And I guess namimiss ko na din yung that in-person feeling of getting to talk to the org presidents when we used to have yung mga COA-con on site, and just stay up, talk to the presidents, talk to people, share stories. It's definitely different now, but ayun, I'd say the passion is still there. The passion is still the same. So, ayun, I hope whether online or on-site, ma-continue pa rin yun in the next.
Hopefully. I want to see the campus, please. I've never walked around the campus before. And, speaking of cons, I'm glad you mentioned it. Because, for the next thing I want to ask you guys is, what were the challenges or the cons that you encountered as, you tried to reach these goals for yourself and for the organizations? And can you also, share with us na lang rin, how did you overcome them naman? So, Sid?
For context, one of my goals for the cluster this school year was to really, just go beyond the presidents and also make even the EV members know each other at least and get help them, build the relationship between them. One of the challenges about that was that sometimes when it comes to a cluster, kasi all orgs are different, even if they're part of one cluster. And the same goes with SBC. Kasi I organized FGDs with the EB members, and it was a bit hard trying to find the common ground between the officers. Even if they all come from SBC, they still come from different advocacies, and that was the challenge about that. So what I did to address that challenge was to really think about and analyze what could be the possible prompts where they could find intersections of their advocacies. So I worked alongside this with Justine, and I also consulted the presidents just in case they might have input or insights that they could share with us. And it actually worked. We went into the FGDs, we were prepared, and it helped flesh out a lot of best practices, suggestions, and even what really made me happy in the end was that each representative of the org got to learn more about other SBC orgs that they weren't a part of. So everybody got to learn more about each other's advocacies, which was a really great experience for me personally.
Right, great. Actually, it's great that you brought that up. Communication is really key, especially with the online setting. I feel like because of how fast-paced things are now, people forget to level off. So that's really good that you actually thought of that contingency. Very big brain. And with that, Miss Christine?
For me naman, one of the goals I really had for myself was to grow the X team, to get them more involved. So, syempre, a challenge of that is, online class can be very demanding, very taxing. And, you have to respect people's boundaries. And sometimes when everything's online, everything gets really saturated. It's really difficult to find the line between org work and acad and personal life. So I really just tried to be as sensitive as I could, and I tried to communicate with them. I think knowing what kind of work they're comfortable with, what deadlines they're comfortable with, and being clear with your expectations of them can really help address these challenges. So that even if they're busy with other things, we don't add an extra burden, I guess. But we try to work around something that they're comfortable with, but they can also still contribute to the org.
Okay. But ma'am, can I also ask, with the whole saturation of, the online setting and online class, since we're all prone to burnout, did you have to handle burnout along the way?
Well, to be honest, I don't really recall an instance wherein someone came to me and said, "Oh, I'm getting burnt out." But then I did try to address that before it could even happen. I tried to push our communications out of Facebook so that they wouldn't be too cluttered with even COA work on Facebook. So we have a Discord channel for our OST work. And then, I tried to check up on them and have monthly GAs just to kind of see how everyone's doing and if everyone's still, willing to continue and what kind of work they're still interested in doing.
Okay. But hey, nobody reached out to you with concerns about burnout. That means that your processes are really good. That's a compliment, ma'am. Own it. And with that, Miss Aki?
Yan. So, admittedly, ang daming challenges this year. I'm pretty sure alam na rin yun ng CP. But yeah, I guess just if I could summarize and encapsulate all of that, really this year was just one big adjustment period. Which I guess is why I'm really looking forward to the next set of officers in the next years. Kasi hopefully this year was like a good first step, kumbaga, to I guess readjusting what org life is. I remember one of the first problems we had, not problems, but challenges that we had as COA with our constituents was that a lot of the orgs didn't know what to do in terms of planning. Because of course, you have your flagship projects. When you say projects kasi, you usually think, okay, on-site siya. So whether those are like donation drives, sales, events, concerts. So the big question was, how do we do all of that online? And I remember the big concern was, like, how do we convert our projects to the online setting? But really, the bigger challenge there was, was like looking into, what is the point really converting projects, or is the point more of looking back into the core advocacy of your org and seeing how you can serve in the online setting, and not necessarily like morphing your projects into another form. So I guess napa-existential crisis yung orgs this year, because everyone was, reevaluating like ano nga ba talaga yung purpose ng org namin if we don't have these on-site projects. Because of course, as long as you have an advocacy, you have that purpose naman to serve. So it doesn't just, I think we all realize talaga this year that it doesn't just stop at, on-site org projects. It doesn't stop at, the on-site logistics of it, but really looking back at the core of, we have an advocacy, we want to educate people, raise awareness, and serve our communities. So I guess that was really the overarching challenge that we had for COA, and I guess for the org community as a whole.
Oh, okay. Well, then again, you also have to take a look back in talaga and realize that despite all of these challenges, you still overcame them. And I guess speaking of overcoming these challenges of yours, I just want to tangent on that. Like, among everything you faced here in COA, among every single challenge, there comes like a story of you overcoming it. And with that, among all the things you've achieved in your stay here in COA, like, what are you like most proud of? Like, if you could frame a memory, or like, if you could frame like a time in your life, like, what would it be? Like, what are some victories you've earned that you are so proud of? And
well, well, for me, I guess my favorite victory it's not really my victory, but more of my ex-team's victory, since they were really the heads of it. So we launched this SEM lang, set in service. So it's a 2-part project wherein we encourage Ateneans generally to pursue advocacy-related careers. So the 2 components of that would be a webinar series and job posting campaign, where we post job openings of advocacy-related like NGOs, foundations in the SBC page. So I guess it's my favorite victory because, of course, our main objective was to encourage Ateneans to, especially graduating seniors, to pursue these kinds of careers. But when I was reading the evaluations of the webinars, it really touched me because I recall one particular evaluation that said na it inspired him daw or her to not just take these kinds of careers, but to also take or apply for SBC orgs next school year, which I didn't expect. And it was really nice to know na it had that kind of effect towards non-graduating attendees. So yeah, I guess that would be my favorite victory for this school year in SBC.
Okay, evals talaga, they really hit different, especially if they're positive and you know that, hey, my hard work paid off. So that's great to hear. And up next.
Okay. So for me naman, like I said, it's not really like my victory alone, but it's like a joint effort. So the COA-M website was launched a few weeks ago, and then it was a project now we've been working on for several months, and it was something that it was non-negotiable for me to have this term. Na even if you were on site or online, I wanted the website so people could learn more about us, so we'd be more accessible to everyone, not just like our main constituents, but really to the public. And because it's up now, I feel like it has the potential to be a really great space since we're probably going to be online pa rin. So it can be utilized then to promote the orgs in the online setting. And I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of, my ex-teams, my co-CV member, Nina, who helped me with it. And of course, our friends at Lisa for helping us with it.
Can I just say though, like I really like it every time, or like nakaka-touch talaga every time narinig ko na mention your ex-teams niyo. Kasi I can really see how grateful you are and how much you love your ex-teams, which really says a lot about your leadership. It's all about servant leadership. It's all about putting your constituents first, and I can really see it in you guys. So kudos to you guys. And last but definitely not the least, Miss Aki.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't just name one. Naman talaga. It's been a long year, and you've gone through so much as a CB, as a core, as COA. So I guess yun yung achievement, the fact that we made it through the year and we've done all of these wonderful things. Actually, if you look at as for the CB, if you look at the list of all the initiatives we've had the past few months, ang dami. I think this is the most productive we've been as COA in all of my life in COA. And I really have the CB to thank for that. I have the ex-teams to thank for that. I have the org officers and presidents, lahat ng support nila. So ayun, the fact that people still persevered and the council still remained active in our service this year, it's really a huge achievement. Even despite all of the challenges we've faced and the weight of online classes, I'm still super in awe of everyone who contributed to the success of our projects and our initiatives. So ayan, shout out to CB, thank you so much. And shout out to CORE, my God. Your support is endless.
But who wouldn't be an awe though, like this year, looking back, hearing all of your your reminiscent stories. Parang na-excite tuloy ako bumalik sa Ateneo. But with that, hearing all your stories, it looks like your term and your stay in COA has been such a great experience. Sana all. Hopefully one day we can also experience the same. And with that, wrapping everything up, share with us your most memorable moment as a COA member. And with that, can you also share, like, what do you love most about COA-M? And without, can we hear from Christine first?
Okay. So my favorite COA experience talaga was Rec Week 2019 with Orbis. So that was when Rec Week was in Red Brick. And it's just so amazing to have it down there. Like, you can really feel iba yung energy. Everyone was so excited. And as a part of the core team, it was such a fun core team to work with. Everyone was super aligned and in sync. It was just really great to be part of such an awesome experience. Oh, and I got to make lots of great friends also during that core team experience. So in line with that, what I really love most about COA is, that these projects, they can give me opportunities to learn and to hone important skills. But I also get opportunities to meet new people and make new friends. So I think it's the people talaga that make COA special, like whether the CB, the ex-teams, the core, super fam, or the org. The community is really nice and everyone's really willing to help each other out and talk to each other. And I hope it continues pa rin throughout next year.
I hope it does. Honestly, I am pretty sure it will, considering that you guys like established such good systems. And with that, you want to take up on this one, Miss Aki?
Yeah, so I guess I have way too many memories to just choose one also, but I guess my favorite ones talaga are just the simple moments in the core room that I just miss so much. ayun, I've been through 3 terms. I've been through 3 terms of, being in the COA room, staying with different CV members. And I guess I really just miss that kasi doon mo talaga mafe-feel. And even our online COA room or wherever we have it, whether that be like the core events, ganun. It's those moments where I really get to feel yung power of COA. Wow, power talaga. But really remembering that COA is really that I guess binding force that brings the orgs together. And I guess that's what I love din about COA na, we accept all, parang ganon. I think that's also something that ex-teams tell me that if there's something that really defines COA besides our service to the orgs and everything else that makes us special advocacy-wise, we always accept people, officers, ex-team members with open arms. And we're a very safe environment, and I really hope that we get to keep that up in the next years, so that other people can be inspired also to read.
You heard that right, folks? COA-M is a safe space. So if you guys, for all the freshies tuning in right now who aren't part of COA-M, put it in your list next year. Make your years in Ateneo worth it. And with that said,
I guess my most memorable moment, well, kasi lahat ng moments ko halos online sa COA. Pero I guess my most memorable moment would be the simple moments as well, na the monthly meetings that I have with my ex-team, and as well as the ones that I have with the SBC presidents. For the SBC presidents, I really enjoyed the monthly meetings kasi even I learn a lot about their orgs every time na they share org updates individually. Like, kapag nag-share sila ng problems or even their victories, their small victories, whether big or small, I learn more about their orgs and their advocacies, and it's really a fulfilling experience. And for the ex-team meetings naman, I really enjoyed them as well because I'm happy that since even if the school year is ending already, kahit papaano, we got to be close even in an online setup. And I can just feel it every time na magkakamustahan lang in the start of the meetings, that they're so open to sharing their problems or sharing their rants, that they're not really hesitant or apprehensive to be open to one another. And it's a really good experience to see that before my eyes, na okay, everybody's just a happy community and a close community here. And in relation to that, that's what I really love about COA-M, is that the community as well. And I keep thinking about this over and over again, na buti na lang tumakbo ako this school year, because if I didn't run, I wouldn't have met all of these wonderful people, and life won't be the same if I didn't meet them. So yun lang. That's it for me. Thank you.
you guys heard that right? COA is life-changing. So please, again, plugging COA-M in, freshies and incoming freshies, if there are any who are listening right now, join COA-M for a safe space and a very warm community. Now, for our last and final question, ito talaga yung pasabog natin eh. Now, for our last question, if there's one lesson you'll bring as you move forward to your new chapters, what would it be? But wait, there's a catch. It has to fit in one sentence. Or siyang quotable quote na pa natin i-frame. So, Ms. Christine?
I guess it would be to adapt and grow always. Pilat yung sentence, sorry, but yeah, I just hope, I think the adapting thing is something I'll carry even outside of COA.
Okay, you heard it, guys. Adapt. Adapt. Even if, sana wag naman, the next following year should be online. Wag naman. And with that, up next, Miss Aki?
For me naman, continue being the best stage mom you can be. And, not just to like members, but I guess in my years of being a self-proclaimed stage mom, it's really taught me a lot about how to support other people, how to be compassionate and be generous to other people. So ayan, I hope I can be my best stage mom self in my future life.
Okay, the stage mom herself, everybody. Last but definitely not the least, Sid, what is your quotable quote?
I guess learning and growth begin when the opportunity seems to be the most terrifying or most nerve-wracking.
Period. Quotable quote talaga, guys. Pwede ba natin ipa-frame yan? And with that actually marks the end of our talk. So, all right. Thank you once again to our beloved seniors for spending your time here with us at Kwentuhang MVP. You definitely made our season finale memorable. And with your quotable quotes, memorable talaga. And again, congratulations on finishing your term. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Now, once again, thank you so much for your service. Aki, Christine said, thank you so much. I've said it so many times, but can we make a chart for that? For all of the times I've said thank you. And even though 2020 and half of 2021 has passed by in such a blur, we'd like to commend all the organizations for keeping their heads above water and managing to make wonderful things happen despite all the challenges they've faced, from reaching out to so many communities affected by the pandemic and calamities, hosting events and Olympiads and theatrical performances, even sharing with us their journey of leadership and activism, and making sure that everybody still feels at home in the Ateneo despite not being physically there in campus. With that, Kwentuhang MVP would like to thank COA-M. COA-M, thank you so much, and every single organization and every single org member who put themselves out there, who decided to step out of their comfort zone this year despite the pandemic, despite the online setting. You guys have made the Ateneo org life rich, and you guys have made it such a memorable experience for us freshies included. So thank you so much for sharing your stories of growth, your plans, your initiatives, your projects with us every week. And we hope you enjoyed the school year with our little show. Your support has meant the world to us, honestly, like every single time. You guys remind us why we do what we do. And this first season has been incredible. And we can't wait to be back after taking a short break and hear more from your stories, your experiences. We love you guys. In behalf of COA-M, we are so, so grateful to have you guys on board with us, always and always. And once again, it's your local Gulay Girly, your celery without the C from 1AB Communication, for the last time for this season. And thank you once again for joining us at Kwentuhang MVP. Our doors will always be open. Till next school year, Ateneans. Bye-bye.